Hey, thanks for checking out my video. This is my very first custom paint. I chose G.I. Joe Classified Firefly. And here what I'm doing is I'm getting my arm in the way. This is my first video, so I need to figure things out. But I have him doing the splits over top of my heat gun so I can remove the limbs. There we go. I'm going to pop this one right out. I'm going to speed things along and do the rest off. Here we go. Now he's all pulled apart, ready to go. And then now I'm going to give him a wash with dish detergent and warm water, just to make sure I get that filmy feel off of it. It actually helps with the paint sticking to it. There you go, nice and clean. Got that best. There we go. All done. Good looking guy. Alright, so here I'm going to show you what I'm going to cut off. I'm going to take off the shoulder pad. I think it's a little big. Kind of gets in the way. I'm also going to remove his neck guard. That really makes the vest look really big. I know he's a bomb guy, but how can you move around with such a big vest? So then I got to remove all that. I'm going to cut off his crotch pad and part that protects his buttocks. Now let's get to it. Speed things along. I clean the cut up a little bit, and here I put on some magnifying glasses. It really helps getting in close. Make sure your cut's precise. Actually soften up the vest a little bit as well with the heat gun. I want to make sure my lines are nice and clean. It's a little hard to work with when it's softer, but it's easier to cut. Definitely use a new blade if you're doing something like this so you get clean cuts, you don't get those jagged looks. Almost done there. Wrapping up a few little cuts. See what we got. There we go. Nice looking vest. I like the way it looks. A little lighter. Probably easier to move around in. But just for aesthetics, I want to remove this little bit here. No, not for any other reason. Really for aesthetics, because his arms, the toy alone, move fine with those there, but just look a little wide to me. And with them removed, you see a little more of his uniform underneath. That's a great sculpt. Definitely want to take advantage of it as much as you can. Now here I'm going to give it a wash. I learned this trick from Cosplay Dan. He does a lot of toy mods as well and repaints. He uses black shoe polish for his wash. Works pretty well. I've found that it dries rather quickly too though. So you don't want to do the entire piece unless you want that really dark look. But what you want to do is just, I did about a quarter at a time and then sponged it off, wiped it off. Give that nice wash. But what you can find as well is that if you put enough on, you can actually use a sponge and kind of move it over to the second half of it. But definitely don't recommend doing it all at once. Just take your time, a little bit at a time, sponge it off or paper towel, and go from there. Yeah, for whatever look you're looking for. This is my first time, my first figure, so I figured go for broke. It actually turned out pretty good. I like the way it turned out. Looks good. The black wash really brings out the detail and the damage that's already put in on the sculpt. And then we're going to go ahead and just do the rest of the figure as well. Start with the legs. I left the knee pads out because I'm going to do a little damage to the knee pads, a little wear and tear. And I'm going to go ahead and do a wash on the knee pads with Vallejo Model Color Natural Gray. That's really going to help make them stand out, instead of just making them dark with the black wash. Alright, there he is. And now we're going to go ahead and do the damage to the knee pads. Now, I really recommend picking up a Gundam model toolkit. I'll go ahead and put that a link in the description if you want to pick one up. All the links will be Amazon links. Everything I use here I picked up from Amazon. Some of the paints, two that I mentioned are actually, or the one that I mentioned, I'm going to use a second one, Flat Earth. Sorry, Flat Earth. No, it is called Flat Earth. The Earth is not flat though, it's round, okay? Flat Earth, I'm going to use that to dust his boots up. Just look a little more dusty, a little more used. That I bought separately at Hobby Lobby. And then you really got to get in there with this file. You got to push in there So yeah, I'm trying to get everything in one motion instead of going back and refiling because I wasn't sure how thick that plastic was. I was afraid to get through it. But it actually worked really well. Let's see if we can get a close-up of this here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Alright, there's one. Looking sharp, looking good. I like it. Looks really good. I'm going to get that a wash with the gray, natural gray. And there they are side by side. Alright, not bad. Now here we're going to head and dust up the boots that I had mentioned with a brown wash. I want to really water that down. I just used just a drop of paint and just watered it up so it's a consistency I thought would work enough to where it wouldn't overpower the boot in brown and make it a brown boot, just to make it look dusty. And the paper towel worked alright, but then I went back over it with the sponge and it worked a lot better. And here I use a Army Paint matte finish, varnish, just sprayed over the figure. You can see the dusted boots, the worn knee pads. The wash really brings out the detail in the uniform and the vest. You can see the lighter vest now. Here they are side by side. This is the factory Firefly. And we got the dusted up Firefly. Looks like she's actually been on some missions. Worn knee pads. This one here looks like he just came out of the army store. Bought a whole new uniform. This one actually looks like he's been on some missions. Looking good. Alright. Here they are side by side. I'm going to give you a shot in the back so you can see the vest piece that I removed from the back. The boots again are dusted up. Now this figure will be available. I'm going to go ahead and post it on eBay, but I'm going to go ahead and let you guys have first crack at it if anyone wants it. Go ahead and leave a comment in the below. Leave a comment below. Let me know if you're interested in it. And I'll go ahead and if I don't get any hits, then I'll go ahead and put it on eBay. So check it out. All the figures that I do will be up for grabs once I'm finished with them. Firefly, classified G.I. Joe. Looking good. Thanks for checking it out.